Hey everyone, I hope you're doing just great today. So one of the most common questions that I get is if you could start with just $500, what would you put your money into? I think that's the position a lot of my viewers are in is, hey, I don't have $50,000 to go put into something. I have $500. What would you start with? So I've been thinking a lot about this question for a while now. And so, I'm a spreadsheet guy. Let me make this a little bigger. That's a complaint I always get. Must have older people in the audience. Always asking me to zoom in on my spreadsheets. No, I'm just kidding. I understand you're looking at it on your phone. It's a little bit harder. So I kind of put down just a list of contenders. Like here's some possibilities of places you might want to put your money. And it's actually kind of funny because in the middle of while I was making this video, I had an AMA with Tony, who's an MIT guy who created Elephant Money a long time ago. It's been out for over a year. And actually, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say my results have changed since I did the AMA with Elephant Money. Okay, we'll say that. So here are the contenders, and you don't need to. You can comment down below if there's like, oh, you maybe try this one, but I picked 12, okay? That was quite a few. I don't have all day, so I couldn't pick like 50. So I just did Drip, Vapor Nodes, Yield Nodes, Cubo Nodes, Thor Nodes, Power Nodes, Polar Nodes, Holding Bitcoin, Anchor Savings, the stock market. I wanted to show you, kind of comparatively if you just put your money into the stock market, and just a bank savings account, and then Elephant Money, which I just added now. So what I did is here's the minimum investment to get into these things. And Yield Nodes, I had to cheat a little bit because the minimum to get in is actually 500 euros, not dollars. So it's actually like $550. But then what I did is I did calculations based on if you got in 6 months ago, if you got in 2 months ago, if you got in 1 month ago, here's what $500 would have done. And then you can kind of project. The projections, though, really aren't that useful because of price action, but we'll talk a little bit about that. So let's just look at, if you put in your money 6 months ago, where would $500 have gotten you? So let's start with Drip. So Drip was at $7 6 months ago, and this is actually about when I got in. If you put in $500 of Drip 6 months ago today, then right now you'd have $15,000 in there, okay? It's a 3,000% return. Okay, so you can see why my Drip numbers are where they are because I put in $5,000, and actually I think it was a little cheaper than this even, and it's been over 6 months, so it's big, okay? And the price of Drip is even down today, right? Like $43, it was up at $200, so you can just imagine how crazy the price could be. So the next was Vapor Nodes, and some of these weren't around 6 months ago, like Vapor Nodes, so I didn't do the calculations for it. Yield Nodes, it doesn't have a price or anything like that, but if you put in $500 6 months ago, it'd be worth $793 today. Okay, so it's about 60% increase in those 6 months. Again, Cubo Nodes wasn't around, Thor Nodes wasn't around, Power Nodes wasn't around, Polar Nodes wasn't around. So again, that's something to take into consideration when you're deciding what to do, is some of these are new. So it's like in 6 months, 6 months ago, Thor wasn't a thing. So in 6 months, we just don't know what's going to happen with some of these. If you just held Bitcoin, the price was 42K 6 months ago. It's 44K today. So if you had just bought $500 of Bitcoin, again, this doesn't include fees, and I didn't do taxes on withdrawals and things like that. I did do the tax on the Drip deposit, so that you have a 10% deposit. But you'd have made $15, about 3% if you just held Bitcoin. But yeah, if you put in $500 in Anchor, you'd made about $50, about 9% in 6 months. The stock market, you've only made about $4. A bank savings account, you've made about $3. And if you had put in $500 into Elephant Money, into their Stampede, which I'm going to do a whole video on Elephant Money soon, hopefully. I keep saying that. I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to do a video on this. I am going to do a video on this because it's Elephant Money is crazy, and it's moved its way as to one of my top projects. Okay, just a little sneak peek there. But you made 175%. So again, not as good as Drip, but still doing pretty well. So then let's move to 2 months ago. So here's the price of these 2 months ago, how many coins you could have purchased. how many coins you'd have now if you purchased at that price, the value now, and so your return. So 2 months ago, Drip, you'd be down 33%. Vapor, you'd be down 27%. Yield Nodes, you'd be up 16%, so you've made $80 in 2 months. Cubo Nodes, you'd be up 44%. Thor, down 78%. Power Nodes, down 48%. Polar, up 290% if you got in 2 months ago. So way to go, Polar. Holding Bitcoin, you'd be up 19%. Anchor, stock market, and bank savings account is very negligible. You made a few dollars. And Elephant Money, you made 40% in 2 months. Okay, let's go to just 1 month ago. So again, the price a month ago, how many coins you purchased, the value now, your return after a month. Drip, you're down 45% because we've just seen that price just continually go down. Vapor, you'd be up 25% because we saw the price go down, but then it went back up and now it's kind of stabilized. Yield Nodes, you get just that steady 8% every month return. Cubo, from a month ago, you'd be down 52%. So Cubo's had the most action where you were up 44%, then you were down 52%. Thor down 26%. Power Nodes down 50%. Polar still up 90%. Holding Bitcoin up 12%. Again, Anchor, stock market, not that much. And Elephant Money up 18%. Okay, so kind of when you rank these, Drip had this crazy return, then Polar had a pretty good return, but a lot have lost money in the last 2 months. And then when you get to the last 1 month, we have quite a few that have lost money. So kind of as I was just synthesizing this data and trying to figure out now what would I recommend to people? First off, I'd recommend nothing because none of it's financial advice. But if it were me with $500, what I would do with it, it's very hard to tell which of these projects is going to succeed and which is not. So there's actually one more number I want you to take a look at before we get to what I would do. This is the number if you had put $500 into each of these projects. Okay, so each 7 of these projects, it would have cost you $3,500, but you'd get a 455% return. Then over 2 months, if you'd put $500 into each of these, which is, I think, $6,000 it would have cost you, you would have made 19% in 2 months. And even this last month where it's been kind of rough, with node projects, especially in Drip, if you had put $500 into each of these projects, which again is $6,000, you'd only be down 1%, even with these huge losses. So kind of the number one piece of data that I took from this and piece of advice is if it's possible for you to diversify, then you should do that. You should diversify because, again, you might get this, this shot. You can try, it depends on your risk tolerance, but you can try to aim for like this 3,000% shot with Drip, but it's hard to hit those, okay? If there's, 12 out of 12, one had a big shot like that. You're much better off making little shots over a wider thing. And I hear people disagree with that. I've heard people say, no, you should go deep into investments, not wide. And just for me, personally, I don't agree with that. I think you're better off getting into a wide range than you get these numbers below. The second thing that I'll say is that Yield Nodes, although it only gets you the 8% return a month, which is not, in traditional finance, that's crazy, right? But just with the volatility in some of these node projects, I would consider the node projects to be more degen, okay, where they're not, investment might not even be quite the right word, okay? They're a money-making play, is how we might word them. And that's kind of what we're seeing in the numbers is sometimes you might make 90%, and even Drip, you might consider it as part of that. You might make your 90%, you might make your 3,000%, but you might lose 70%. And you just need to be aware of that this can happen in these node projects, okay? I hear people getting on saying, I put my life savings into blah, blah, blah. And it's just, man, what if it goes down 80% in 2 months? Like you're going to be in big trouble. So Yield Nodes, I would not consider as much of a degen play. It's going to just get consistent. They've done consistent 8% returns for 28 months now. So for over 2 years, through a bear market, through inflation, through a war over in Asia and Europe, 8% a month. They just keep pounding that out. The other one that really caught my eye, and this was in the middle of the video that this came up, was Elephant Money. Elephant Money, and I'm going to do a video just for this one, but they have some crazy tokenomics. He's an MIT graduate, and he talked way over my head. Like, I understand tokenomics decently, but I did not know what he was talking about. Okay, he had so many things that he was talking about, but the way they have had this set up, they've just seen consistent lower returns. It's about 205% APR. Okay, so usually we laugh at that. We laugh at, oh, that's not 205% APR. Like that's nothing compared to our node projects. But they've just been chugging along. But they have Elephant, which kind of is like a profit sharing. That's kind of where like the profit of the protocol goes to. And look what the price of that has done just over the last, we're going back to September here, and I think we can even go back further, go back to July here. But look what the price has done of this. So this is just the profit that's brought into the protocol. That's the way Elephant is set up. And then Trunk is very similar to Drip. You can either put into just a savings account where you can stake it and withdraw it. So it's a savings account. And Trunk is a stable coin, so it's algorithmically programmed to just be at $1. And you're getting 66% on this stable coin. And again, your deposit's not lost. So 66, we talk about 19% APY on Anchor protocol. This is 66% APR. So 66% APR is 1.0018 to the 365th power, or is about 193% APY on basically a stable coin is what Trunk is. Okay, so that's super powerful there. And then they have this is similar to Drip, where you can bond your Trunk, which again, Trunk is a stable coin. I'm going to do a full video just over this, just because it was so crazy when I saw this. But you're getting 205% APR. So again, 205% APR, 1.0056 times to the 365th power. It's like 768% APY that you're getting here if you compound every day. Okay, and they do have, you can buy insurance for smart contract risk on this also for like 3% or something like that. So anyways, those would probably be, if I was first starting out, my next choice after that, like Polar has been doing really well. So my first choice would probably be Diversify. Second choice would probably be Yield Nodes. Third choice would probably be Elephant Money, which that might actually be ahead of Yield Nodes. And then after that, Polar's been doing really well, but that almost makes you more nervous, right? When it's way up, that's not necessarily the time that you want to get in. So Vapor Nodes has some really good bonuses for people when they're first starting out. So they do it opposite. Most protocols give you bonuses if you're big, but Vapor Nodes gives you a bonus if you're small. Drip is at a good entry price right now. We just don't know. The price of these is all way down. Again, if you got in the last month, you'd be down big on all of these. So that's kind of where I'm at. Diversify, Elephant Money, Yield Nodes, or take your luck with some of the node protocols. Maybe some of the new ones that are coming out. But those are just, it's a lot more risk there. It's almost, again, not an investment. It's kind of just a try to make money type play. So I don't know if that's helpful for you at all. I was on a call with somebody yesterday. I do this thing where, hey, you can schedule a call for like $250 or something. And we got to the end of the call. He was asking me, what should I do? And I was like, I don't know. And we got to the end of the call and he's like, you weren't very helpful. And we don't know the future. Again, these are the numbers that are projected. Like it's projected that if you get into Polar, you're going to 23x your money in 6 months. Okay, I don't think that's going to actually happen. Vapor Nodes, you're supposed to 8x your money in 6 months, and I just don't think these things are likely. Except for Yield Nodes, I think you'll get your 60%. I think you'll get your 175% in Elephant Money. So that's where I'm at right now. So I hope this was helpful for you. I enjoy doing like videos like this, spreadsheets, and I'll leave a copy of this spreadsheet. Don't request access. Just go to File, Make a Copy. Okay, or you can download if you want to, but don't request. I don't want you to edit my spreadsheet. You can go get your own. If you make a copy, then you can make your own, and then you don't need to edit mine. So again, thank you guys so much for your support. And again, it blows my mind that what I get to do, I love like calculations like this of passive income, and it blows my mind that that's what I get to do in the day, is just run these spreadsheets and talk to projects, and I enjoy it immensely. So thank you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.